Okay, let's just get right into it. The whole return to office thing. Yeah, that phrase alone can stir up a lot, can it? For some people, it's exciting, but for a whole lot of us, it's this weird mix of anxiety, maybe a little frustration, and just this feeling of, are we really doing this again? So today, we're going to tackle that feeling, not with some fluff, but with some real, concrete strategies you can actually use.
Man, does this hit close to home or what? This quote from a Reddit user just nails that kind of soul-crushing feeling so many people are wrestling with. It's not just about, missing your sweatpants. It's a much deeper question about what we're all trading our precious time for.
So if you're sitting there nodding along to that, I just really want you to hear this. You are so not alone. That feeling is totally real, it's valid, and it's something millions of us are going through in this huge shift back to working in person. So let's get a little more specific, shall we? Because the anxiety we're talking about, it goes way beyond just sitting in traffic or figuring out what to pack for lunch. We're talking about some real psychological pressures that can make the office feel, well, like a total minefield.
Okay, now take a look at this list. It's from the Canadian Centre for Occupational Health and Safety. As I quickly run through them, just see which ones kind of pop out at you. Is it that constant low-level fear of getting sick, the awful communication from the higher-ups, or maybe it's the fragmented attention, from getting pinged and interrupted every 5 seconds? Just figuring out which one is your main energy drain, that's a huge first step.
And for so many of us, this is the real culprit right here. Fragmented attention. With all the emails, the chats, the back-to-back meetings, our brains are just constantly switching gears. We're living in this state of high alert but low focus, and it is absolutely exhausting. It makes that deep, meaningful work feel pretty much impossible. But, and this is the important part, here's the good news. We can fight back. Look, we're not going to solve all the world's work problems overnight, but we can use these small, really powerful little tools to start carving out some mental space and get our focus back. Let's call them microhacks. I love this definition from the Economic Times because it really clarifies what we're trying to do here. This is not about cramming more work into your day. No way. It's about reducing the mental friction, all those little annoyances that wear you down. Think of it like clearing the clutter off your mental desktop so you've actually got energy for the stuff that matters. And this is such a critical point from the expert Nir Eyal. We got to remember these hacks are just tools. They're meant to create space. They're not the end goal themselves. The whole point is to use that mental energy you get back for some real self-reflection, to figure out what you actually want to be running toward in your life.
Okay, now here is one of the most powerful microhacks you can ever use. And guess what? It's totally free. It's a technique called self-distancing. So when you're feeling completely overwhelmed, instead of just drowning in that feeling, you take a step back and look at it like an outsider. It's kind of like moving from being in the storm to watching it from a safe window.
So, how do you actually do this? It's surprisingly easy. When you feel that wave of stress coming, first just notice it. Don't judge it. Then talk to yourself in the third person. Something like, okay, why is Sarah feeling so worked up about this presentation? That tiny little switch creates just enough mental space to cool down your emotions and start thinking a lot more clearly.
And here are a few more quick wins you can try right away. Each one is just a small decision you're taking off your plate for the day. A work uniform, even if it's just always wearing a white shirt, means one less thing to think about. Batching your emails means you control your inbox. It doesn't control you. All these little things really do add up to a ton of reclaimed mental energy.
All right, let's switch gears and talk about our next set of tools, and this one is a biggie. It is time for us to stop thinking about AI as this scary thing that's coming for our jobs and start seeing it for what it can be. Literally, the most powerful personal assistant you have ever had. This stat is just wild. A PwC survey found that 3 out of every 4 people feel like they don't have the right skills to use AI at work. Now, you could see that as a problem, or you could see it as a massive opportunity. Being in that 25% who does know how to use these tools, that's a huge career advantage right now.
And this right here really illustrates the mindset shift we all need to make. The conversation shouldn't be about AI replacing us. It's about AI augmenting us. It's a partner that can handle all the boring, tedious stuff, which frees up our brains for creativity, for strategy, for complex problem solving. The things that humans are actually good at.
So, where's the easiest place to start? Meetings. Just imagine this, walking into a meeting and knowing you don't have to take a single note. An AI assistant can be your digital scribe, capturing everything perfectly so you can be 100% present and actually engaged in the conversation.
Here are a few awesome options to get you going. And what's really key here is that you don't even need a budget to start. Fathom, for example, is completely free and it is incredibly powerful. It works with Zoom, Teams, Google Meet. This is something you could start using literally today to make your meetings so much better.
I mean, the benefits here are they're undeniable. You get perfect notes every single time, which means way better accountability for who's supposed to do what. Everybody in the meeting gets to participate fully instead of being stuck as the note taker. And you get back all that time you used to waste writing summaries and sending follow-ups. It's a total game changer.
Okay, so we've used our microhacks to reclaim some focus. We've freed up our time with AI, so what do we do with all that extra mental energy? Well, let's use it for the one thing the office is supposedly for: real, genuine human connection that goes way beyond the awkward banter.
Oh, we've all been there, right? That painful silence by the coffee machine, or that forced conversation about the weather. After years of talking to people on screens, small talk can just feel so rusty and weird. But it really doesn't have to. You know, the key is just to shift from those generic questions to genuinely curious ones. So instead of, "How was your weekend?" try asking something like, "What's the most interesting project you've got going on right now?" Or, "What's something cool you've learned recently?" These kinds of open-ended questions invite real stories, not just one-word answers, and they can turn that boring chatter into a real connection.
So, let's pull all this together. We've talked about microhacks to protect our mental space, and we've talked about AI tools to supercharge our productivity. This isn't just about surviving the return to the office. It's about actually building a brand new blueprint for a smarter, more intentional way to work.
If you only take away one single thing today, let it be this. This is the new formula. Control the small things with microhacks. Automate the tedious things with AI. And that frees up your precious time and energy to focus on the human things, the deep work, the creative thinking, and those genuine connections with people.
And I just want to leave you with this final thought. What if? What if we stopped seeing the return to office as this annoying thing that's being forced on us, and instead we saw it as this unique, once-in-a-career opportunity, a chance to hit the reset button, to consciously redesign our habits and our tools and our relationships, and build a way of working that's actually more focused, more fulfilling, and more sustainable for all of us in the long run.